Hello, everyone, and welcome to a night of stamping. I am Sarah Simon. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm so excited to be with you tonight. I am so sorry that I had to cancel last week. There was just no way I could pull it off. But we are back this week and ready to go. So I'm so happy that you have jumped on. It looks like I'll wait a little bit for some people to jump on. But what has been happening? Well, last night was my last Wednesday night class of this first year of my new job. And oh my goodness, I can't believe how fast the year went. But it has been, excuse me, it has been like so fast and so fun. But now the kids have off for the summer and we do some planning for next year. Now, I'm not completely done with everything because this Saturday we've got a service camp for our middle school kids all day from like 9 o'clock in the morning until we go to 4:30 mass. I have practice for first communion after they go out to do their service. And then we have the prom kids coming for our 4:30 mass because it's prom at the local high school. So we do a mass at 4:30. And then Sunday, we have two first communions. So I'm going to be crazy all day setting up and getting ready for those and being there for those. And then next Sunday, we repeat that again with two first communions. And then Wednesday night, we have our bishop from our parish coming in and we've got confirmation for our 11th graders. So it's going to be a little bit crazy, but it's all good stuff. So I love it. So, what has been happening since last month or last 2 weeks ago? Well, first of all, we still have our same creative challenge. So we had, yes, this is the, I'm like, is this our creative challenge? It is. So we've got where you use both sides of the paper and you do a little fun fold like that. I've got it in a different color combination here with some of our new in colors. And then we also did it with that card. I think I'm going to be using this card tomorrow for a sympathy card. My uncle passed away. He was 99 years old and he was such a sweet man. Oh my goodness. He was just the cutest little old man and he would tell stories when you would go to visit him. And he he died a week ago last Sunday, I think it was, no, Monday morning, Sunday night or Monday morning. I can't remember now. But anyway, we've got the funeral tomorrow, which is really cool because my brother and sister who don't live around here are in town. My sister's coming in town tomorrow. My brother and sister-in-law and my brother-in-law are already at my mom and dad's, and so we'll get a chance to see everyone and kind of hang out for a little bit before everyone's got to go their opposite ways. So yeah, and we'll get to see my cousins, my uncle's kids. One lives about Two of them live about 2 hours from here. One lives about 4 hours from here, and the other one lives in Texas. So don't get to see them all that often. So it'll be awesome to be able to see them as well. Unfortunately, it's under these circumstances. However, 99 years, can you imagine what a good life he had and a long life that he had? So he deserves to be in heaven with my Aunt Rita and reunited with her and with my uncle, Father Paul, who he was really good friends with. So anyhow, we are going to be stamping today. I do have one announcement. Goodness, I'm off my game here. All of a sudden, I looked and it says it's showtime, and I'm like, oh, it's showtime. I'm not ready. So I do have our product of the month is this Eyelet Blooms dies. So if you spend $75, you can purchase this for just $5. Um, and so it's pretty awesome. Let me come back to you and I'll show you. I had cut some. Here's the actual die. It looks like this. Oh, next 2 weeks. Yeah. Denise, you have First Communion. Yeah. It's crazy time of the year, right? So here is our die. And let's see. I did cut, I wanted to show you what it looks like. And I swear I put it on my desk because I'm like, here, I'm going to show them what this looks like. And I guess I didn't. I thought I did. It's not back there. You know what? As I unbundle things here, it's probably going to be like, oh, there it is. But I did cut out a piece of it, and I was going to show you how you could put different colors behind it to make it look so different. That is interesting. That's why I was so late going live, because it was saying it's showtime and I'm like, "Oh shoot, I finally found that." I set it down. I'm sure once we unbundle some of this stuff, I'm sure we're going to find it and I can show you. But what it does is it makes it look like a little, kind of like a lace eyelet. And where all those little holes are, you can stick a different colored paper behind the color that you have cut out. So I had cut the die out in cloud cover, and I had a secret C to put behind it and a basic white to put behind it so that you could see how different it looked with the exact same paper that you cut out. So if I find it before we're done, I'll be sure to show it with you to you, but otherwise I can demonstrate it next week as well. I don't think I mentioned that creative challenge. I'm picking a winner next week. Thursday is the end of the month. So you have until next Thursday to submit a card. Now, if you are not on Facebook, if you go to my Facebook page, a couple of you are on Facebook right now, but if you go to my Facebook page, you will see at the very top, it'll say Creative Challenge. It says April Creative Challenge. And you can see a picture of these cards that I just showed you, along with the direction or the dimensions that you need to make the card. And then if you go to the comments, you can add a picture of your card to the comments. Now, if you're not on Facebook, or you're one of those people that like, I can never figure out how to post a picture in Facebook, just go ahead and email it to me. Label it that it's the Creative Challenge, because then I do a subject search to make sure I have everybody's posted on there. And let me just give you let's see, it's right here. So there is my email address. It's createwithsarah, that's LLC, at gmail.com. And so if you email it to me and attach the picture, I will post it in Facebook and list that it's here, that it's you. Anyone who posts a picture by next week, Thursday, gets their name into a drawing, and the winner of that drawing gets to choose or gets a $30 Stampin' Rewards from me. Now, those Stampin' Rewards, instead of 6 months having to use them, you have 90 days to use those. But it'll always tell you when you're getting close. And when you check out, you can just say, use those $30 that I have so that you can get $30 off whatever you have in your basket. So it's kind of a cool thing. I didn't jump on here last week, so I completely missed. I posted it on my Facebook page, but I completely missed being able to tell you about the bonus. They had double the Stampin' Rewards last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I didn't get my order in. I started my order, and then I added to my order and realized I never submitted my order before Friday. Have you ever gotten so busy that happens? Yeah, that was last week. So we went off to Minneapolis. My great nephew was baptized. And so, yeah, new life. And then we've got the death of my uncle in there. So it's been like a kind of a lot of different things going on. But I drove with my mom and dad to Minneapolis. It was less than 24 hours that we were there. We left late morning on Friday, and we were back home again. Well, I shouldn't say it was more than 24 hours that we were gone, but we weren't even there 24 hours because we didn't get there until like about 4:30, 4 o'clock maybe in the afternoon. And we left again by 2 o'clock the next day. So anyway, Yeah, Kathy, no extra rewards for us. Like we needed the stuff that was in there. Actually, some of the stuff I do need. Do you know that prices are increasing on May 5th? There are a lot of things where the price is going up. The most substantial is probably our medium sized vanilla, or not vanilla, basic white envelopes are going up $4. So if you love our envelopes and you want to stock up on them, get them before the price goes up. And I didn't even look to make sure that they were in stock before I said that. With my luck, they're probably out of stock, but I know I had them on my order. That was I was supposed to get double rewards for. But yeah, so that's going up. Twine is going up a little bit. Our adhesives are going up a little bit. So I'll maybe post on my Facebook page a list of some of those things that are going up. So if it's something that you use a lot or you're really close to being at the end of that, you can go ahead and order it before that price increase happens. Ink pads are going up a little bit. Yeah, so there's a little bit, everything. And who knows how high it's going to go with gas prices and stuff like that and shipping costs, and who knows how that's all going to be affected in the future. But anyway, I wanted to at least bring your attention to it. All right, I think I talked long enough to get people hopping on here because I think we're up to, let's see, looks like we've got like 30 some people watching between the two. So that's awesome. So let me go ahead and flip. There we go. I am flipped. I am going to show you the stamp sets that we're using. I mentioned, I'm going to move this a little bit so you can see me. Envelopes are low inventory, Kathy Miller said. So I think when they're gone, no, not when they're gone, they're gone. But chances of them getting them back in before May 5th when the prices go up. So get them now if you want them. All right. We are going to use, I love this bundle. It's called Help Me Grow. These are the dies and these are the stamps. We're actually not using anything in the stamp set for this. Oh, why am I blurry? There we go. It just had to readjust. Okay. We're using the dies. I took a whole bunch of different things in here and we're using a whole bunch of the stuff from the dies. I wanted to make a Mother's Day card because we're getting very close. This Family Ties, and again, I did not look to see if this is gone, but this was on last chance. It was reduced as well. So if you're looking for something and you're like, oh, I always am looking for a Father's Day or Mother's Day, this was super cheap and it's got like fathers, mothers, happy day, have a lovely, 2 different sizes so that you can change the size for whatever size you need. So we're going to use the smaller one of this today. And then for my inside greeting, I took something from Paradise Garden. You make the world a better place. You know what's really funny is that I made my 2 cards and yeah, I know the price of postage stamps is going up too, Betty. That's crazy, right? Everything's going up. It's because the gas prices are going up. People don't know what's going to happen with our economy. And so, it's just everything's going up, right? You make the world a better place. So I used that on this card. And then all of a sudden I was looking at the other card that I had done already. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the same greeting on the inside of that one. And it's from a different stamp set. So we have this greeting in a couple of stamp sets. What are the chances that I picked it for both cards, not even really looking at it? So our first card is a super easy layout. I like to mix it up and do not all fun folds, but sometimes do some layouts so that you can see some easy cards being made in case you have to like mass produce something and it's like, oh, this would be really easy to mass produce. So we are going to start with the card base, and I've got cloud cover for my card base. And this is just a standard A2 card. It's 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. It's actually going to go this way, the landscape way. We're going to have a mat that matches. So I'm going to show you the DSP we're using. I love this DSP. So we're going to use this DSP, and you have to have 2 pieces of the DSP that kind of look good together. One of them is usually a little more muted and the other one a little bit busier. The background one is usually the busier one, and the smaller one is usually the less busy or doesn't have like a big pattern in it. And so I like to layer that on a mat with something that's in here. So I was going to use Secret Sea, and then all of a sudden I was like, I kind of like basic white behind there because of the white that's in the flowers. And so this is basic white. So this is 4x5 1/4. That is the mat that I used. And then you need a neutral piece for the inside. That's 4x5 1/4. And I used basic white for that as well. And then our DSP. So the thing that we see at the top and the bottom, or the biggest piece, is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. This center piece is 5 1/8 by 2 inches. And then I cut both of them because I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use. I couldn't remember which one I did use. Let me look to see which one I did use. Oh, I used this one on the sample that I made. A 1/2 inch by, I just did it 5 1/2, 5 1/8, I mean, so I didn't have to cut bigger. Or we could go with the floral image. We could use either one of them. That's just for the inside. All right. I did a ton of, oh, Family Ties is gone. I'm sorry, you guys. I should have used something different. I should have looked before I used it. That's the one that I said, I don't know if you remember 2 weeks ago when I was on here, I said, I'm going to do a Mother's Day card with help me grow, because I have an idea of what I want to do. And it was using this Family Ties. So I already had it in my head. So I didn't go and look at it. So I apologize. For any of you that might be looking for this, I will be having it in Kathy Miller's used stamp sale. Right, Kath? I can't remember what date we decided on. Kathy might be able to chime in. I don't know if we even did decide on a date, but I will be selling mine. And so you can get your hands on this if you want to come to her used stamp sale, if you are local. All right, what did I use? I cut out this banner, and I cut out 2 of them in case I make a mistake. All right, and that is from the dies that go with our Paradise Garden. And then in the dies, let me show you these dies. Oh, I love these. I didn't do the shovel or the, it's not called a shovel. What is it called? I can't remember. All right, so we've got a scissors. We've got where you can make the scissors like a different color and put it over the top of this. We've got like this little hoe type thing. We've got the handle for our shovel. This makes it look like dirt. We've got a couple of different greeneries. You can stamp and cut out the pot. It's not available now. Oh, is it on back order, you mean? It's not that it's last chance, because I knew I didn't put it on last chance. I hope I didn't miss it on last chance. Gosh, ladies, I'm just batting 1,000 here tonight. This is like the little dish that you put your pot in for the water to sit in, and there's a couple of different greeneries, a couple of different types of flowers that you can use to build this. So this has been a really, really popular die set. Yeah, Kathy said back order. So when you go and you look at, like, if you go to the store and you type in help me grow, and it pops up and it says unavailable, there is a little button that you can get notified, and you put in your email address, and they will send an email to you when it does become available. Because then it's like you get that email and it's like, oh man, I'm going to get this before it goes on back order again, right? And so make sure you're using that, because I find it to be really helpful. I know when I've had customers who I know are looking for something in particular, I will even go on there and I'll get notified myself. So that I can let that customer know, hey, it's available right now. Or I posted that designer paper that everybody was waiting for, Delicate Wishes, I think it was called. When that came available, I put it on there right away that it's available again, because I knew so many people were waiting for it, and I had gotten notified that it was back in stock. Okay, let me look at these dies again so I can tell you what I did. If you get this or you already have it. Oh, okay, so Kathy just typed in the word grow and it still came up. So yep, you don't have to type in the whole word. If you know there's a word in it, you can use that. So I used this greenery, right? Whoops, it's out of the screen here. So I used this one right here. in Old Olive. Okay, isn't that a pretty piece of greenery? I love that. Okay, these little flowers, there's two little things, and this breaks it up into two different bunches, and then this is one bunch. So I cut each of those in that cloud cover. So I've got cloud cover, and it ends up cutting out 3 of them. Okay, and then, come on, we have these little flowers right here, and there's like a little bud in there that I didn't use the bud. Since we had 2 of these, I just ran both of them through at the same time. And so I ended up getting 4 of those little flowers, but I'm only going to use 3 tonight on the card that I'm making. And then in crumb cake, I cut the pot. So I didn't stamp it. I'm going to use my blending brush on it to give it a little dimension. And I've got that little dish, and there's even a little slit in there that I can set that in there so it looks like it's sitting right inside the dish. And same thing here. I can slide my little greenery right inside of there as well. Okay, so that these are really cool dies. That way you can put them together. Trowel, that's what it's called, right? Not a shovel. Isn't it called a trowel? I think that's what it's called. Okay, so anyway, those are the die cuts that I have to make this. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this over for right now because I didn't put a piece of scrap paper here. I'm going to start by building my pot. Then I'm going to do my stamping, and then I'm going to put it all together. So I'm going to bring in some crumb cake ink along with one of our blending brushes. And blending brushes, I think, are going up as well, just a little bit. So I think the little ones are going up 50 cents. The big ones are going up $1. You do get a pack of them, so it's not 50 cents each brush. I think there's 3 or 4 in pack. All right, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the ink and get it off. And I kind of want to do this gently because when I did it the first time on my sample, I ended up, this pulled up and I ended up crumbling the whole thing. And I think what happens here and why I liked adding this little bit of crumb cake is it defines the lines that are in there just a little bit more. So I like when we've got some embossing like that, just to run a little bit of ink over it, and it kind of gives it a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to set that over there, and we're going to do the same thing with our pot. Now, why did I come up with crumb cake? Well, I was going to use Secret Sea. I thought about doing that. And then what other color did I grab? I grabbed Cajun Craze because I thought, well, that kind of looks like a clay pot. Didn't like how that looked at all. It looked awful. And then when I was looking at this sheet on the back was crumb cake. And I'm like, oh, crumb cake must go kind of with this paper because they even have some of the DSP has crumb cake in it. So how about if I do a crumb cake pot? And that's what I ended up doing, but I liked muddying it up a little bit. See how that just shows up a little bit more? And it looks more like a pot with having like the different shades of the crumb cake in there. All right. Kathy said there's 3 blending brushes in there. Thanks, Kathy. See, I should just have you on with me, Kathy. You can answer all the questions that I don't know. All right. We're going to tuck that right inside of there. And when I get it where I want it, all I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to take a dimensional because I am going to raise this up on dimensionals. And I'm just going to put a dimensional right over that as a way to hold that in place. Okay, because there's tape on that back of that dimensional. So now that's in place. And then I'm going to take my little dish tray, water reserve. I don't know what you call it. I don't know if it has a formal name. I'm not a gardener. I don't even have a green thumb. I do have some succulents, because you don't have to worry about watering them every week. Um, and they still survive if you forget to water them. So my succulents have lived for a really long time. I think Mother's Day, maybe about 10 years ago, my mom gave me a little succulent garden, and it's doing pretty well because I only have to water it every couple of weeks. And I don't even water it. I just throw in some ice cubes and they just kind of melt in there, and that's my way of watering it, and it's perfect. All right, I am gonna, while I have this turned around here, I am going to add a couple of dimensions to a few of these leaves, and I don't have any minis sitting here. I don't even have a paper trimmer. I looked at my space when I got here, and I'm like, oh gosh, Sarah, you don't have a lot of stuff, and I didn't have time because it was telling me I was supposed to be going live. Only I can kill a succulent, Kathy said. Yeah. Well, I actually have done pretty good. So I'm pretty proud of myself that way. Let's see here. Gosh darn it. Let's take one side has to come off. That's why when my mom and dad go to Florida, they always leave me in charge of their plants, and I have to stop at their house and I have to water them. But it's almost impossible to kill the plants at my mom and dad's, because when my dad has me water them, he puts exactly what I have to put in each one of the pots. So this succulent gets 2 ice cubes. This one gets 4 ice cubes. This one gets 3 ice cubes. This one gets a half of the watering can. This one gets a full watering can. And he's got Post-it notes or things taped to absolutely every flower that I have to water. And so it's really, really hard to mess it up when he makes it that easy. And the purpose for going to their house is to do it. So I can only keep their plants alive because I am under a little bit of stress. Oh no, I can't kill his plants. Okay, so they have these little ways that you can actually hang them on the pot. So like that's kind of hanging down off the pot. And I just kind of, as I was doing this, sort of placed them, and I sometimes moved them around to see where they looked the best. I'm going to see if I can put this one up here, if that looks pretty good. That does. So I'm just going to kind of put a little bit of blues coming out everywhere. Now these do have little openings that you can like stick them underneath the leaves. So I can go like this and put, my fingers are so fat with this dainty stuff, but I can put that kind of like that. So the leaf goes in there and just a little bit of it's hanging out like that. So it looks a little more natural. But I'm just going to take some liquid glue and I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on each of these. Come on. Can you tell my dad managed a company, like he owned a company and he managed people because he like is so detail oriented to make sure you can't mess anything up, right? So we're going to put that right there. And his RSV, he's finally feeling better. It took, they told him it would be 6 to 8 weeks probably. And it has been like all of that. He said the other day to me, he said, last night I think was the first night since he got sick that he didn't have to take a cough drop in the middle of the night to stop coughing. So we were happy to hear that. So if you have parents or other elderly people in your life and they end up getting RSV, I hope they don't have it as bad as he had it because he was miserable. Okay, so now these flowers, I thought they kind of looked a little bit like the flowers that are in here. So don't they kind of look like it? It looks like they were made. Oh, there we go. It's going to be blurry until it catches up. There we go. So I'm just going to take, I think I'm going to take a glue dot because a glue dot's not as tall as a dimensional, but it's a little bit taller than just putting liquid glue. So I'm putting these on our glue dots, and then I'm just going to find, put them in here. 1, 2, I'll put one there. And then, because the center of those flowers were blue, when I first did it, I took my Secret C Stampin' Blend, and I colored in the center with that, and it looked really good. But then I was like, oh my gosh, we have Secret C gems that are really, really small. These are part of our Moody palette glossy dots, and I don't know if they're still available. I think they are. But I'm like, oh, that gives it even some dimensions. So I went and over the top of where I'd colored it in, I put some dots. So I thought, I don't even have to put the blend. I don't have to color it first. I'm just going to put the dot right on there. There we go. So there is our little pot that we're going to be using. And I'm going to add a little bit of twine to that as well. So it's just a cute little pot. All right, I'm going to set that aside. Let's do some stamping. We're going to stamp Happy Mother's Day. Now, how I did this, I needed to keep, my pot's going to kind of be over here a little bit. So I'm going to kind of set this on here so I know that I have to keep part of that free, okay, as I'm stamping. I want it to be straight though. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to start by stamping the happy, and I'm going to do that in Secret C. Hello to those of you who jumped on here late. Sorry, I haven't been paying super close attention to the comments. I'm going to go as far to the left and up on the top as I can with the happy. Okay, it's a little bit further over than I wanted it to be, but it's still going to be fine. Then I'm going to take my mother's, and I'm just going to kind of fit it in here. It's going to go a little bit on an angle so I have room down in the bottom to stamp the word day. Okay, so Happy Mother's Day. Super easy. Oh, let's keep this open. Let's take one of our 4x5 1/4 and let's stamp the "You make the world a better place." Don't moms? At least my mom does. She really makes the world a better place. Oh, let's flip that over. Always the dark blues and the reds I get on my fingers, and then try it again. There we go. That doesn't have any blue on it. All right, so let's go ahead and put this together. Do I want to move that happy over just a little bit? I might. Let's try it. Let's put this here again. So we have a guide. Let's see if I can move the happy over just a tad bit. It doesn't help that my camera is right in the way for me to see. That looks a little better, doesn't it? Let's see if we can not mess up the rest of it. Mothers. That looks good. And then day. Ooh, I should have put that up a little bit higher, but the day can go right here, and that's good. There we go. That still gives me enough room to put that there. We should be good. All right, we are time to put this together. I know, right? Becky, my mom is one of a kind. I'm very, very, very blessed, and I know it. My mom is one of those people that you want to be like when you grow up, right? Because she's just very special. And I don't think she's listening tonight because she's making dinner for She's probably serving dinner to my brother and sister-in-law and my brother-in-law and then my dad's sister, who's a nun. They're all staying over there right now for the funeral tomorrow. Now this, because I didn't want to have to cut it that little 1/8 of an inch bigger, I just set it in here with kind of an even border on either side because then I could use the same size paper. All right, and that is going to be on the inside. So let's go ahead and burnish this good. And we'll pop this on the inside. I'm out of my Stampin' Seal. Can you believe that? That was on my list of things that I had to get to. I still haven't submitted it and I need the stuff. So tonight I'm thinking I'm going to get that order submitted that I started last week when it was bonus days. Didn't get done. All right, then we're going to layer this on the white because it just helps to make it pop a little bit more. And then this is just going to go in the center of it. Isn't that super easy of a layout? So easy. I even have another card with a different bundle. That's what I did when I got home today. I'm like, I have to make another card that I can show them because I had 2 cards with the fun fold that I'm doing next. I'm like, I should have a second card with this fold as well. All right, so that's going to go on the front like so. Like that. Okay, and then this is going to go down flat when I know where I want it. And this is going to go kind of down in the corner here. So I want to make sure that this leaf is over here. So I may have to move this over because that day went a little bit further than I wanted it to. But there we go. That's going to look like that. Isn't that cute, that little plant on there? Yeah, Kathy, I love this DSP too. It's beautiful. I'm going to put my banner down flat. The next card that I'm going to show you that I did with this, I ended up not putting it down flat and I put it up on dimensional so you can see what you like. It's not this exact card, but it's a card with this layout. The thing that I was putting in the corner wasn't as big as this pot was. So I felt like, oh, let's pop that up. Put a few of these on the leaves. Just to make sure it's going to stay in place. And there is our Mother's Day card, but I'm going to add a little bit of twine. Let's take one. I'll do another. I was going to put it all kind of behind there, but I think I'm just going to put it in the front. I'm going to do it just like I did on the card that was my sample. Get our bow jig in here. I'm just taking 2 strands of the twine, linen thread, not twine, linen thread. And the linen thread is so thin that I sometimes like to use 2 pieces of it. It just shows up a little bit better than if I use just 1 strand. So that's why I grabbed the 2 strands. And then I like to make a bow jig or use the bow jig to make it instead of making it myself because it's harder to make it, I think, when I've got 2 strands. All right, let's bring this back in here. Let's get a glue dot and we'll kind of roll it off of here and in our finger, put it right where I want the knot to be, which is going to be maybe right about there, right above that little line there, so we can still see it. And We'll press that knot right into there. That just kind of gives it a little, I don't know, not whimsical, but kind of, I don't know, just a cute little bow on there. So there is our card 1, which is a Mother's Day card. Super quick and easy layout. Let me get you the dimensions here with the card so that you have those if you wanted to take a screenshot, so that when you're like, oh, I want to use that layout, it was super easy. You have the dimensions and you have a picture. And then I did make another one. I think it's called Filled with Sweetness. And this is what that one looks like. So I used the gingham, and then I used some of the plain strawberry slush paper. And I did a couple of strawberries. The blueberries were together. And here I raised my label up a little bit. I put one of the strawberries down, tried to make a little bit of dimension with it. Just a super, I didn't do the inside of that card yet because I just quickly did it when I got home tonight. So 2 different cards with the exact same layout, super easy layout, just using some sort of a label with a greeting and then making some sort of a focal point with either dies or things that you could color and cut out with dies. And here I put them down a little bit more in the right-hand corner. The sample that I made before, I had my pot down a little bit as well. But there we go. We've got a couple of cards, samples with this easy peasy layout. Quick and easy. That's what you like sometimes, right? Especially if you have to make a whole bunch of them. I was thinking I have to get some thank you cards for all of my catechists. We're having an appreciation dinner on the 13th of May. And it's like, I don't know, with everything going on, they may not get homemade cards. I may have to go break down and go buy cards because it's a lot of people that I would have to buy cards or make cards for. I think I would have to make over 50, and that's a lot. So anyway, thanks, Nancy. All right, so that is our card number 1, easy peasy layout with the Help Me Grow, which we found out is on back order. Apologize for that. And uses the Family Ties, which is no longer available. I apologize for that too. And then the other, You Make the World a Better Place, is from that Paradise Garden. And that's where I got the label from that I put the Happy Mother's Day on. All right, so that is card number 1. Let me get this out of here. Card number 2, if you were on my team, you saw this already because it was one of the make and takes that we had. I did change it up a little bit for this because I couldn't do it because there were too many of you making it. I couldn't die cut any of the designer paper out, but because I was just doing it for this, I ended up die cutting some of the designer paper. So this is a fun fold, and we're using the Fern and Flora bundle, which is going to be available starting on May 5th. So it's the stamp set that has a lot of different ferns and flowers. It has, see, You Make the World a Better Place. What are the chances that that's the one that I picked for both cards? I made this one weeks ago when I had my team meeting. And then when I was making that one, I'm like, oh, I looked at it and I'm like, I have the exact same greeting in 2 different stamp sets. So anyways, we're using this. These have some really cool dies. So we're going to use this little label die, some of these fun dies. And then some of these cut out the stamped images, but then like this is an image that's also on the designer paper. So tonight for this card, I ended up finding the designer paper and I ended up cutting one of those out to use it. It was kind of fun. So anyhow, this embossing folder is my new favorite. I love this. I love that you can get like so many different like ferny type looking, and we're going to use this on the card as well. So something to look forward to. All right. We are going to use our paper trimmer so that I can show you how to cut this, because sometimes when I explain it, the way I explain it isn't the way that you understand it. So we're going to actually do the cutting part of the fun fold with this one. So we're using the In Color, the new In Color. That probably isn't everyone's favorite, but I really liked how it looked with the things that I've made so far. So this is Golden Glow. I am a yellow lover. I'm usually like a Daffodil Delight type yellow. This is more of a mustardy type yellow. Which I don't tend to like those as much, but I really loved how this card turned out with that color. All right, so our card base is like a hot dog, okay? So it's the 4 1/4 by 11, and you score it at 5 1/2. Now, what we're gonna do is it says, and then cut. So we're supposed to measure 1 inch from the top. So it's a card that goes this way. It's a landscape card. So I'm supposed to measure 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom and cut off the front part of that. Okay. So let me bring my paper trimmer in here and show you how you do that. In case that doesn't make sense to you. So if this is my front, I'm going to line it up. Let me get some of this stuff out of here. I'm going to line it up on the side here at 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm flush right against the top, and I'm going to make sure that my edge goes over to 1 inch. I'm going to bring my cutting blade up at the top, and I'm going to go down to this fold right here. This score line is 5 1/2. So on the side, I took some of my tear and tape. This is our tear and tape, and I taped it on the inside so I could see those dimensions a little bit better. So 5 1/2, and this is really worn. I've had this for years, and so some of the things have really worn off, but I can also see my score line, and it's right here where my thumb is, at my thumbnail is. And so if I look at the side of these blades, that's where I want to bring this cutter down. Now you do want to push in to make sure that you're cutting all the way to that score line. Okay, then I'm going to go on the other side, and I'm going to go at 1 inch, and I'm going to leave it right where it's at because it's at 5 1/2. And now my cutting blade, or my piece that I cut, is down at the bottom, and I'm going to cut the other side all the way down to the bottom. So I have the 2 strips right there. Now I'm going to put this in at 5 1/2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this till it gets to 1, and I can kind of feel when it catches, and cut that piece off. And then I'm going to go up to the top, and I'm going to bring it down until it gets to 1, or I kind of feel it catch, like, ooh, I just felt it catch, that it cut it. And there's that piece. So this is what my fun fold is going to look like. It's going to open like that. All right, this is a newer fun fold. I don't think I ever did this one on the camera, so something different. All right, now where are my dimensions? Here they are. I set them over with the stamp set. Okay, so that's what this direction is for your card base. Then we have a neutral layer that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. When I say neutral, it could be white, it could be vanilla, it could be basic beige, it could be something like a soft sea foam, it could be something like a cloud cover, something that's a really light color that you could actually stamp on and see, because we're going to put designer paper up at the top and the bottom, and our inside is going to be right here. So you do have to have something that you can actually, a color that you can stamp on. Now, if you put a black there, you could always stamp with a Versamark and use your heat embossing. But that's what we need our neutral layer for. Okay, this center layer, I decided to emboss it. You could also use designer paper. I'm going to show you a second card that I made for a swap that I don't think I'm supposed to share with you yet, but the swaps were sent back to us today. So I'm thinking it's okay now that the swaps were sent back. I hope, because I'm going to let the 33 of you that are watching see. Okay. So I used Secret C, and look at that. Oh, that embossing folder. It's so cool. Um, and that is 5 3/8 by 2 1/8. So that's going to go right in there like that. Okay. We're going to take 2 pieces of designer paper, and they're going to be 5 1/4 by 1. So one of them is going to come up here. Actually, I think I'm going to put this one down here. And I knew that this one had some bigger flowers on it. So I like to put the one with the bigger flowers or more flowers at the top. I don't know why. Okay, so that's going to go like that. All right, that's it for what you need. Okay, then I did do some die cutting. I have a scrap of white to do our greeting. I die cut, and I forgot to put adhesive sheets on here, but I die cut this little swirly thing. Let's see here. Let's put them on here so you can see it. That's in Mossy Meadow. This is in Soft Sea Foam. And this I die cut from the designer paper. Now, when my team came and they did this for the team meeting, what I did instead for that, because I didn't have enough designer paper to cut that for every person on my team. And if you're on my team and you weren't at this, I have this card made. I have another card made. The third card I have to finish making, and then I will get everything in the mail to you. I had big dreams that they were going to go out the Monday after the team meeting, and that didn't quite happen. So at my team meeting, we cut this one in Old Olive. Ooh, where's my flower? I think my flower is sitting by the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because I didn't cut those ahead of time because they were so tiny that I was afraid they were going to lose them. So we have this right here, which is the center of the flower. So look at how tiny those are. They are really tiny. And then we have this right here that looks like they might be butterflies, but you actually layer these two on top of each other. You layer these two on top of each other, and you layer those on top of each other to get 3 flowers that go on your 3 little buds on this Old Olive thing. All right, so that is what I did when my team came. So let's stamp and put this baby together. All right, so let's set this stuff up here. Let's bring our scrap in. And we have Secret C again for our ink. Guess you could say it's my favorite color. But anyway, so let's go ahead and I'm going to use Secret C. And I'm going to stamp. Now my team didn't stamp this frame because I wanted to die cut some stuff ahead of time for them, or I thought it was going to take them way too long. And I would have had to stamp that and die cut it because it would have been too hard for them to stamp it once it was already die cut. So we're going to stamp Thankful for You. I think they did this just the opposite and did, okay. And then there's this die right here that can cut those out. And through the magic of TV, I do have that done already. Thankful for You. Okay, and then we do have to stamp on the inside. But to stamp on our inside, I want to start to put this together a little bit. I want to put, or at least hold, I want to hold my designer paper in the place where it's going to go. So if I put the designer paper here, and I put the designer paper down here, I can kind of see where the center of my inside layer is going to be. Let me get this lined up here. There we go. So now I want to put the inside greeting centered there. Okay, so the greeting that I picked, yes, I said it already. I've got 2 Secret C pads open here. What the heck? I don't need 2 of them. And it says, You make the world a better place, right? I said I use the same greeting, different stamp set. So this one looks a little different. I'm going to stamp it a little bit to the right, but try to make it center, top and bottom. Look at that. And then I'm going to take some Old Olive ink. We'll close both of our Secrecy ink pads. Oh my goodness, Sarah. Really? And then I can take these away because I don't want them to get any ink on them. And I'm just going to stamp this a couple of times. And I'm not going to re-ink it in between. I'm just going to come here and I'm going to do 1, 2. So that it has like a little shadow to it for a little bit of dimension. All right. Let's see. Old Olive and Secrecy. Where's Secrecy? There it is. I'm going to put the other Secrecy up here because I'm done with those. All right. We are ready to put this fun fold together. Now, what I did when I made these is I kind of took my bone folder and I kind of pressed on it to try to get, you can kind of see where I had cut this off. And I just kind of used my bone folder, press that down a little bit. And this goes right out to the edge, so you really don't see that too much. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put that down. Now, if you wanted to, it would require using more designer paper. But if you wanted to, you could put an inside layer of designer paper as well. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. So I could put something like this on the inside so that when they open it, they see it. Or I can just leave that completely blank. I opted to leave it blank. All right, these are going to go at the top and the bottom. I still think I'm going to do this for one of my swaps. I have a swap where I only have to make like 6 cards, I think. I think this might be the one that I do. I used this fold for a different swap, but I used different product for it. Okay, so there's our inside. And then we're going to put this on our outside. I'm going to put that big fern that way. Okay. It's going to go like that. Now, before I put any of these ferns and stuff on here that I die cut, I do want to take some of our Golden Glow ribbon. This has like a little edge ribbon and it's a little, this kind of satiny. It's the new ribbon that goes with our In Colors. And we are going to just tie a knot. Fat fingers. Should grab my tweezers. It helps a little bit, holding it in place. Okay, so that gives us a little bit of ribbon on there. And then I'm going to cut 2 of these little things off the bottom here because it was a little bit too big for that center area. Oh, beautiful day in Ohio, Northwest Ohio. It was beautiful here too. It was actually warm. Felt a little humid. I can tell that we're probably going to get some sort of a storm tonight because it was a little bit on the humid side, but it was windy too. It was super, super windy. I had to run in after work. I had to go pick something up. And when I ran into that store, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to blow right away. Okay, so I'm just going to put one of those things here. This I'm going to cut off just that little end. We'll just put a couple of glue in a couple of places. Brewers lost today in the bottom of the 9th inning. I was listening to it on the radio on my way home. Like, really? Just going to put that up there like that. And then I'm going to take my label. My label's going to go right there on dimensionals. I'm going to keep my dimensionals in a little bit so I can tuck that underneath. Just realized I didn't put the flowers on the ones that I made for the people who weren't here at my team meeting. They have the greenery there, but not the flowers yet. I still have to put all the flowers on them. Goodness gracious. Okay, and that's just going to pop. I actually think I'm going to cut a little bit of this off as well. Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Let's see. Let's go like this. Just going to make it so that some of that greenery is off. And I'm just going to have that pop up right like that. It's in a little bit different location than when I had it, than when I made it myself, but still works fine there. Thankful for you. And then we have some gems that go with this bundle. Dewdrops. Dewdrops. Kind of cool. Actually, you know what? I think I like this better when I didn't do the outside. I'll show you both. I feel like I got to make that straighter. There we go. I'm going to take these old olive ones, I think. And got a couple of different sizes. I might just take one and put, actually, let's put one right here. And let's put one down here. We'll do the little ones on either side. You could put it in here if you wanted to as well, but I'm just going to leave it right there. Okay. Now, let me show you what I did when my team did this. They did the You Make the World a Better Place on the outside. These were the Golden Glow flowers, which I have to add to them yet. I don't know why I didn't put those on there. But this is, instead of having them cut out, this is cutting them out yourself. But I still have to add the flowers. And then I just did one greenery instead of stamping it twice, it looks like. And I did the Thankful for You on the inside. So a little bit different. Here are the dimensions again, if you like the fold. It was a newer fold to me. I thought it was fun how just the center panel opened and you had your greeting on the inside. So for the swap that I was in, this was my swap that I made for, it was all people who earned the Alaska incentive trip, which a disclaimer that I have to say is that less than 1% of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators earn that because you have to work your butt off, literally. Well, my butt's still here, but I have had to work really, really hard and sometimes have nights with no sleep to be able to earn it. And I thank all of you for helping me to earn it. I leave on May 31st for that. But with the group of Trip Achievers, the swap that I was in, I made this version of it. So this is a new paper, and this is the new butterfly punch. I think it's called a flutter, something a flutter. And so it says, fluttering by to say hi, thinking of you today on the inside. And it has like the little butterfly on the inside. And I had the whole thing done. I told Kathy, like, there's really strict rules with a lot of these. And one of the rules was that you had to use, everything had to be in the new catalog or new online exclusives. And if you've seen the new catalog, there are very few ribbons. There's the in colors, and there's a couple of ribbons that they carried over. But other than that, there's nothing in the catalog. But if you go to the last chance list, this was in the last catalog, but it's not on last chance. All a flutter. Thanks, Kathy Miller. It was not on the last chance list. It was still something you could get. So I got all the cards done, all the stamping. This has Wink of Stella on it, punching all of those out. Took me 2 hours to wrap the ribbon around and tie it in a bow instead of tying it in a knot because it was a tinier ribbon, making sure that they're all laying right because I'm giving these to some of the top demonstrators. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can use that ribbon. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I don't think I can use that ribbon. So I sent the lady who organizes it, I sent her a note and I'm like, okay, I use this ribbon. It says that everything has to be in the catalog. As long as it's not on the last chance list, am I okay? And she said, as long as it's not on the last chance list. So I searched it again. And as of Sunday, it was not in the last chance list. So, and I don't think they've added anything. So I think I'm okay. Otherwise, I was going to, after spending 2 hours tying all those ribbons on the 16 cards that I made, I was going to go and snip them and cut everything off. I'm like, I really don't want to have to do that. And so, as long as it wasn't on the last chance list, she told me it was okay. So I sent it this way. So this is that exact same fold that way. Now, if you wanted to hide your ribbon that's here, I could have put another piece of this designer paper on the inside so that they saw it on the outside and on the inside. But I didn't think I had that much paper to mess around with. So I ended up just putting it on the outside like that. And it doesn't matter that you can see that ribbon. I made sure it wasn't twisted or anything on any of them. So that is this fold, which it was a new fun fold to me. And I can't even remember who I saw it from first online. I think I only saw it from one person. And I don't even remember. The person might have used that new velvet, the paper that has like the velvet in it, that has like Berry Burst and Bubble Bath and that. I think that might be what they used when I saw it. I'm not sure, but I just redid it my own way. So, oh, good, Lori. I'm glad that you got a new fold. It was new to me. And I think if you wanted to, like I've already done where you cut up the 2 sides and you leave the center part open. And I've already glued those pieces down instead of completely cutting them off. So I think you could probably do that here instead of cutting this last piece off. You could probably glue it down. But I kind of liked how it looked when it was cut off as well. So this was just something a little bit newer for me, and I thought I would share it with all of you. All right, let's go ahead and come back to, here we go. Here I am. I'm still here. It's 7:38. Not too bad, a little over an hour. Thank you so much for joining me. Another reminder, Creative Challenge ends next week, Thursday. I draw for that $30 in Stampin' Rewards that I'll gift you. Becky said she's happy that I earned that fantastic trip. Yep, I'm going to be going with my sister and my brother-in-law, the 3 of us in a cabin. And I looked at it today because they sent some stuff and I opened it up and I'm like looking at it and it's like 300 square feet, I think is what the cabin is. Yeah. And then the deck is 80 square feet. So like, all right. But they have a king size bed that my sister and brother-in-law will sleep in. And then they have a pull-out couch that's double, I think. And then they also have some sort of drop-down bed because you can actually sleep. They said you could sleep 5 in that room. So we'll make it go. We're not going to be in our room much anyway, right? Yeah, but we have to start planning some of our excursions. And so I'm hoping to do that while they're home the next couple of days for that funeral because my sister and brother-in-law are staying over tomorrow night. So I'm going to go have fish with them and hopefully we can decide what we're going to do. So anyhow, hello, Lisa Nealon. Oh, track meet in De Pere. A beautiful night for a track meet. That's other than a little windy, but nice. All right, that's all I have for you. I'm going to go make name tags for our confirmation next Wednesday. Doesn't that sound like fun? And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that it inspires you to be creative. If you try the fun fold, post a picture on Facebook so people can see it. It's not part of our creative challenge. Do the creative challenge first, but love to see if you end up using the fold and what you make with it. So have a wonderful evening. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.